Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel Animate Orange, where I build a lot of 3D metal models, and today on the table another older building from Metal Earth. Well, the building is kind of old, but the model itself, the Kennedy Center. This one is another US architecture type model from their site, another one that's has been around a little while, and I've kind of been sitting on it, and it's time to catch up. This one looks particularly simple, except that some of these parts look really thin and easily bendable. Let's open this up, take a peek inside, and put it together and see how hard it is. The Kennedy Center. I think this is 2 sheets. Oh yeah, it says right there on the top, the piece that I'm tearing off. 2 sheets. What's inside? Of course, our 2 metal sheets. Flip one over. Doesn't look to be a lot of parts. And the very familiar older style yellow instructions. Oh, look. It's so tiny. Look at that. That's kind of adorable. It's not even enough to make up a whole long sheet. It looks pretty simple. Metal Earth 3D laser cut model. A little QR code. The address to go to for the 360 view, or one of the addresses now. Line drawing of the model and one of the sheets. A little section down here about insertion tabs, insertion holes, fold lines, what they are. You know, those pliers are helpful for assembly. Always see that in the older ones anyway. And the legend, or key as I've come to call it, to create the best connections. If you see a blue circle in the assembly flowchart next to a part, it's telling you to insert that tab and fold it over 90 degrees. When you see the green triangle, it's saying to insert the tab into the slot and twist it 90 degrees to secure. And for those, you pull and screw to make them more secure. That usually works. The screwed or turned or twisted tabs are usually tighter and better and more secure than the folded over ones, but the folded over tabs look neater on outer surfaces. We have one of the sheets down here. Let's see if we can't locate that really quickly. And as you can see, it's a diagram of these parts, and they're numbered. So if you're looking for part 4, it's pointing at it here. You know it's this big piece right here. You're looking for part 15, it's pointing at this one. That's right here. So it helps you find the part. Pretty simple. And if we move over to the assembly flowchart, we have the other sheet here, oddly enough, and then but down below that, starting with part 1, that folds and adds to part 2. There's the top view of what that's supposed to look like. Part 3 adds on here. I'm guessing that's supposed to be 2 part 3s that add on right there. Doesn't really have a times 2, but then moving on to here, we've got part 4. Then down here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, kind of all jumbled together. It's a little cram-packed, but you sort of get the gist. Just kind of follow the arrows and add the parts as you go along. Get down here, what is it? That's kind of strange. I guess you start with this. Okay, yeah, it's a little jumbly. But yeah, that's it. Once you get down to the bottom there, you're finished with the model. It's very compact. Nothing on the back. Let's take a moment to talk about the tools that I use. This is my standard set that I use in most every build. I have long needle nose pliers and flat nose pliers, useful for a variety of different things. I have flush clippers that I use to cut the parts off the trees. It makes it quick and easy. And then I have some precision tweezers, one with a very pointed end, one that's had the pointed end ground down slightly, and one with a flat, sort of curved end. Great for getting into curved areas. And then I have a standard set of tweezers with an angled tip. These come in one of the Iconics models, and I love them and use them a lot. I don't use these very often, but they sometimes come in quite handy. They're angled needle nose pliers, and I typically use them for one of 2 reasons. Either getting into a strange shaped area to twist a tab because of the angle. More frequently though, I use them to fold over flaps along bases or side of parts that are too long for the flat nose pliers, but needle nose pliers can't get to them safely without bending or warping something else. These will grab a longer area and bend it over. So we've opened it up, looked at the sheets and a brief view of the very short directions. Got our basic tools to get started. Let's put this thing together. There are a lot of little pieces to clip off of these parts. I opted to carefully lay these lightly connected parts in place upon their next connection. It didn't exactly go badly, but not quite as well as I would have liked. And it seems one of the pieces fell off. I opted to finish the bottom section before adding on the top section. I neglected part 13, but fortunately realized it before it was too late. There was still plenty of room to add it on and bend over the tabs. Pushing the edges of the base against the table to bend them over, like I usually do, didn't really work well for this thin and delicate base.
Ta-da! The Kennedy Center. Finished and done. You know, I didn't realize before building this model that the Kennedy Center is actually not just a memorial to John F. Kennedy, but a performing arts center. So that was interesting to read and find out about. This build took 45 minutes to complete, so it's kind of could be considered a quick build, although I can't say it quite felt all that quick. It was a bit tedious because so many of these thin parts, like the thin poles around the side of the building, and then you've got the trim pieces in between the roofs that are very, very thin. So that was a bit tedious to work with and kept getting knocked out of whack, and there were several places where there was like one tab holding a part on, and those can be a bit delicate. So this one was a bit tedious, but not terribly so. It was still a bit fun to do, and I was concerned that it wasn't going to look good in the end, but it looks pretty good. It's a little bit crooked. Kind of thought it was going to end up like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, where all these thin parts in the end it just looks kind of warped, but this turned out alright. So it's not a bad build, certainly part of the collection, and will fit in very nicely, and I will leave it at that. Fun little build, 45 minutes, a little bit tedious, not too bad. If you have any questions or comments, as always, feel free to leave them down below. Consider supporting my page so I can continue to bring these builds. I have a link to my Patreon down in the description, and there'll be one at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.